Hi, my name is Noor Amir Izzati. I would like to talk about background Inari Amir Tuan Berhad. Inari Amir Tuan Berhad, a leading Malaysian electronic manufacturing service company specialized in semiconductor or assembly, testing and packaging solution, founded in 2006 and listed on Bursa Malaysia in 2011. The company operation facilities in Malaysia, Philippines and China, catering to global clients in telecommunication, automotive, industrial and consumer electronics. It has four core business include semiconductor or packaging and testing, radio frequency, product, auto electric, dan electronic manufacturing service. Other than that, Inari collaboration with global technology leaders in precise advanced technology and integrate environmental, social and governance principles into the operation, driving sustainable and innovative growth in semiconductor or an electronic sector. The Guan Li Corporation Berhad was established in 1934 and its headquartered in Perai, Penang. The company began as general merchandise business and has since evolved into the leader in textile industry. The main product include the distribution and retailing of baby, children and casual wear, along with accessory underwear, no brands such as Kikilala, Kiko and Caldas. Operation over 500 consumer counters across Malaysia and it's also involved in property investment. The company's strategic focus on innovation, e-commerce and strategic partnership to drive sustainable growth. Its vision is to become a leading baby and children apparel marketing company in Malaysia. TJL mission is to deliver high-quality product, meet market demands, and ensure productivity and sustainability for its shareholder, employee, and the environment. Liquidity ratio of financial metrics that assess a company's ability to meet its short-term financial obligation and manage immediately cash need. This ratio provides insight into the organization liquidation or its ability to convert assets into cash quickly. It can be categorized into two types, which is our current ratio and quick ratio. Current ratio is financial metric used to assess a company's short-term solvency and its ability to meet its immediately liabilities. It computed has a ratio of current ratio to current liabilities. It can be seen that Inari Amir Tuan Berhad has a current ratio of 7.36 and a current ratio of 5.66 for TJL Corporation Berhad. This means that in every 1 ringgit of current liability, Inari Amir Tuan Berhad has 7.36 ringgit of its current assets, while TJL Corporation Berhad has 5.66 ringgit of its current asset for every 1 ringgit in current liability. In comparing these two companies, Inari Amir Tuan Berhad has a higher ability in paying current liability with the current asset compared to TJL Corporation Berhad because the current ratio of Inari Amir Tuan Berhad is higher by 1.6 ringgit.
Quick ratio is a crucial financial indicator that assesses the short-term liquidity status of a business. With inventories excluded, it evaluates if a company has enough liquid assets to cover its present liabilities. The ability of a business to fulfill its responsibilities without depending on the scale of the inventory that might not be readily turned into cash in the near future is better illustrated by this ratio, which makes it especially helpful. The formula to determine the quick ratio is as follows. According to Graph 2.0, which compares the two businesses, Inari Amir Tuan Berhad has a quick ratio of 6.81, which is significantly larger than Teo Guan Li Corporation Berhad's 3.77. Because it has a bigger cushion of fast assets than liabilities, Inari Amir Tuan Berhad has a better short-term liquidity situation, as seen by this differential. Thus, a company with more liquidity would be better equipped to handle any unforeseen downturn in its fortunes or be able to invest at any given opportunity without having to sell its inventory. Although Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad's quick ratio is 3.77, the company's liquidity position is well above the recognized benchmark level of 1.0, but not as loose as Inari Emerton Berhad's. It merely indicates that Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad keeps fewer current assets than the others. This discrepancy can be accounted by variations in working capital management strategies, models, or operational scale. While Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad maintains a respectable level of liquidity, which is quick ratio of 3.77, Inari Emerton Berhad's high quick ratio is 6.81, suggests that the company has a very strong liquidity. It is clear that from the stark contrast between these numbers that Inari Emerton Berhad has more financial flexibility and can easily pay short-term obligations. This may be explained by Inari Emerton Berhad's ability to hold more liquid assets on hand relative to its liabilities.
The second ratio activity is activity ratio. Activity ratio is a financial metric that indicates how efficiently a company uses its assets to generate revenues and cash. It also known as efficiency ratios, which are frequently used by analysts to assess a company's inventory management practice, which are crucial to the operational fluidity and overall financial health of a business. The first one is the total asset turnover. Total asset turnover indicates the efficiency with which a company is using assets to generate revenue. It means the higher asset turnover ratio, the more efficiency a company is. We can get the value of total asset turnover by net sales divided by average total asset. Based on the table, total asset turnover of TGL Corporation.
Hi, my name is Nur Hidayah. Now I will explain the account receivable turnover of Inari Emerton Berhad and Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad. This metric measures how efficiently a company collects payment from customer, calculated as net sales divided by average trade receivables. Inari recorded a turnover of 5.74 times, while Teo Guan Lee achieved 8.84 times, indicating Teo Guan Lee is faster and more efficient in collecting receivables. Inari lower turnover suggests delayed collections, likely due to lenient credit policies. To address this, Inari should implement stricter credit controls and exchange its billing system. Meanwhile, Teo Guan Lee higher turnover reflects effective financial management and a strong collection system, contributing to its operation success. Next, I will explain the profit margin on sales for Inari Emerton Berhad and Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad, which measure profitability by expressing net income as a percentage of net sales. Inari recorded a profit margin of 24%, meaning it's earned 24 cents for every 1 ringgit of sales, while Teo Guan Lee achieved only 9%. This highlight show that Inari's strong cost and financial management, allowing it to generate higher profit from its revenue. In contrast, despite higher total sales, Teo Guan Lee lower margin reflects challenges in controlling costs and maximizing profit. Overall, Inari's higher margin demonstrates a more effective sales strategy and cost efficiency, which are essential for long-term business success. Lastly, I will explain the return of common shareholder equity (ROE) for Inari Emerton Berhad and Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad. ROE measures how efficiently a company uses equity to generate profits. Inari achieved a net income of 250,211 ringgit and average equity of 2,558,441 ringgit and 50 cents, resulting in a in an ROE of 10%. Meanwhile, Teoguandi recorded a net income of RM11,443, with a higher average equity of RM11,130,622.50, resulting in a ROE of only 1%. This shows that Inari is much more efficient at converting equity into profit compared to Teoguandi. Inari's higher ROE reflects better financial management and operational efficiency, proving the strategic equity utilization is more crucial than equity volume alone. Okay, that's all for me. Now I will pass to next presenter. Thank you.
Now I'm going to explain about leverage ratio. Leverage ratio measures the percentage of a debt a company uses as capital to fund their business operation. This ratio is important for evaluating a company's financial structure. The higher the value of the leverage ratio, the higher the risk to the company's finance. Next, there are two types of leverage ratio that I'm going to explain, which is debt to assets ratio and debt to equity ratio. Debt to assets ratio measures the ratio of total debt to total assets and shows what proportion of an organization's assets are funded by debt. Meanwhile, debt to equity ratio shows how much of a company's funding comes from debt. Inari Amatron Berhad Company has a debt to asset ratio of 0.13, indicates that only 13% of its assets are funded by liabilities. Meanwhile, the debt to equity ratio for this company is 0.14, which indicates that for every RM1 of shareholders' equity, the company has RM0.14 in debt. This ratio's value shows that Inari Amatron Berhad has a low-risk capital structure with minimal reliance on debt. Teoguandi Corporation Berhad (TGL) has a debt to asset ratios of 0.18, which means 18% of the company's assets are financed by liabilities. Meanwhile, the value of debt to equity ratios of this company is 0.12, which means for every RM1 of shareholders' equity, the company has RM0.12 in debt. These ratios values indicates that TGL Corporation Berhad have a very conservative capital structure with a low level of debt.
Comparison of ratio between companies. The first one is liquidity ratios. Liquidity ratios can be categorized by current ratio and quick ratio. For current ratio of Inari Amatron Berhad is higher than TGL Corporation Berhad. That shows Inari Amatron is very capable of meeting its short-term liabilities. While TGL Corporation might not be utilizing its asset effectively. For the quick ratio, Inari Amatron Berhad have the quick ratio higher than TGL Corporation Berhad. That shows Inari has better short-term liquidity situation and be able to invest at any given opportunity without having to sell off its inventory. And activity ratio, for the first one is total asset turnover. TGL Corporation Berhad has the total asset turnover is higher than Inari Amatron. That means TGL Corporation has a strong operational performance and competitive advantage in the market than Inari. For the second, account receivable turnover. TGL Corporation Berhad has the account receivable turnover higher than Inari. That means TGL is better efficiently managed and collected receivable, judging from the net sales against the receivable ratio. And the third is profitability ratio. For profit margin on sales, profit margin of sales of Inari Amatron is higher than TGL Corporation. That shows Inari Amatron is more adept in its sales for incomes into profits than TGL Corporation. And second, return on common shareholders' equity. Inari Ametron is higher than TGL Corporation. It shows Inari Ametron is more efficient in utilizing equity to generate higher income. And the last is leverage ratio. First, debt of asset ratio. Inari Ametron has a lower of debt to assets ratio compared to TGL Corporation. And second is debt to equity ratio. TGL Corporation has lower debt to equity ratio than Inari Ametron.
In conclusion, Inari Ametron Berhad shows strong performance with a high profit margin 0.24 and ROE 0.10, but its low payment collections, accounts receivable turnover 5.74 and excess liquidity current ratio 7.36 need improvement. The company should focus on better cash collection and reinvesting surplus funds for growth. As for Teo Guan Lee Corporation Berhad (TGL), it has high sales revenue, which is RM 126.6 million, but struggles with a low profit margin 0.09 and ROE 0.01. TGL should improve cost control, pricing, and invest in e-commerce and automation to enhance profitability. Both of these companies can grow by addressing these challenges. Inari through better liquidity use, and TGL by boosting efficiency and exploring new revenue streams.